let's move on into the first session, which is I will be talking about what can you do to improve your presentation if you have a control on it. Jadi ini sedikit sharing, itu ada pernah suatu research dari UCLA yang memaparkan bahwa sebenarnya out of 3 elements of your presentation, yang paling punya impact paling gede ketika orang perceive your presentation itu gimana. So there's 3 components, but visual and vocal here is the most important one. Verbal itu things that related into your content, bahasa kamu, pemilihan kata, but like the other 2 component which is on visual and also vocal is really the one that attracts people attention and really want to engage more in your presentation. So these 2 are like very important. One top line message that I want to share. The success of your presentation will be judged not by the knowledge that you send, but by what the listener receives. Ini yang jadi ide when we call it as a presenting with impact. Nah, there are 3 elements that we can help you to make to be a professional speaker. 1 is confident, 2 conviction, 3 enthusiasm. Jadi confidence part deal with a lot on yourself. Jadi mungkin ada orang yang pernah bilang kayak, oh ya gua gugup atau takut atau malu kenapa dia pengen tampil untuk melakukan suatu komunikasi publik. That part deal with your confidence. Second part, if you want to be a good speaker, is to have a conviction. Jadi gimana bisa meyakinkan orang bahwa what you say, what you present is true, and you want them to believe, and you want them to also gain something out of your presentation. Of course, to achieve your objective. And last part is on enthusiasm. Enthusiasm ini nggak necessarily lu harus always on high energy atau selalu bisa attract attention. So there are a couple of elements that can help you to maintain that lu itu nggak membosankan, lu itu bisa narik people's attention. So the first part that I want to cover is on the confidence. Itu ada beberapa sub bullet point. Ada clear objective, know yourself, be prepared, and also know your audience. These are all the elements that related to mungkin quote-unquote yang gue bisa bilang kayak fear of ourselves. Kenapa sih kita ngelakuin suatu presentation? So the first part is dealing with the confidence. Starting with the I, kita sendiri. Setiap kali, mungkin nggak setiap kali lah, beberapa orang dan termasuk gue juga sekarang, every single time that I want to do presentation, even very profound ketika awal-awal gue mulai kerja, I always have this tendency, aduh gue takut, aduh gue bener atau enggak, gue malu, apakah point of view gue tuh bener atau enggak, nanti gue dijudge bodoh atau enggak. So there's always this feeling that you're trying to look for your imperfection, and that slowly akan membangun fear atau nervous ketika lu mau deliver one of the presentation. What can we do out of it? Things that I want to share here is based on the research that I do throughout my professional journey and also something that I really experience. So, yang pertama, be real and acknowledge who you are. Mungkin di sini gue mau sedikit lebih cerita pengalaman gue on my professional journey. Jadi, working as a consultant ketika gue awal-awal kayak baru lulus dari ITB, kira-kira mungkin 6 bulan kayak gitu lulus dari ITB, udah langsung harus ngelakuin presentasi di depan klien yang most of them are like much more senior than me, much more have more experience than me. I was introduced as like mungkin from my manager, they introduced me as kenalin Bu Tessa, ini Pak Jordi dari McKinsey. So I was positioned as a counterpart for someone who is much more senior than me. Itu bikin gue benar-benar in a very awkward position karena gue ngerasa loh, gue ini baru lulus kuliah, much more, kayak nggak punya pengalaman segala macam. So, I try to make myself, okay, kalau ekspektasinya begitu, bahwa gue harus mungkin tenang, harus jaga citra image bahwa gue pinter atau segala macam. I try to hide myself and try to portray what I am not. And effect dari itu, gue selalu punya ketakutan bahwa, aduh kalau gue ngomong gini di meeting, perceive orang kayak gimana ya? Aduh kalau gue lagi diskusi kayak gini sama manajer gue, dia bakal mikir gue bego atau enggak ya? And these are all like very new people, karena gue nggak pernah interaksi sama mereka. So I struggle a lot during that time, and it's very hard for me to do presentation very well. Jadi gue dari itu, I do research how to improve myself. So there are a couple of things. Di sini gue juga ada share TED Talk-nya. I really recommend you guys to watch. Itu dari salah satu profesor Harvard Business School. Gimana cara you establish your presence. Jadi kayak, so my journey ketika gue udah kayak ngelewatin itu semua, I know that you can be comfortable with yourself. So I'm not as experienced as other people expect. And that is not something that I want to offer as a professional. Itu bukan value add gue. It's not measured by number of experience that I have. It's also not measured as like mungkin umur gue atau apa. That is not something that I should focus on. Focus on my value add, what can I do, and what do I really offer. I can just simply be comfortable with it. Jadi sekarang gue udah kayak, oke, ya udah, gue nggak begitu compose lagi dari diri gue. I can just do like a presentation the way I want to do. Jadi kayak even presentasi ke depan klien yang lumayan senior, BOD, GM segala macam, I can just be myself. Gue agak sedikit quirky juga nggak apa-apa. That's the way I find people attract attention as well. I hope that you can also find that journey to find what is the most comfortable way for you to present yourself. Karena ketika lu comfortable dan ketika lu percaya diri dengan lu, itulah ketika saat dimana you can actually radiate present the most. Number 2, don't afraid if you make any mistake. Jadi ketika lu melakukan satu presentasi ini, ada aja sebenarnya occasion di mana orang-orang itu mungkin gak suka sama objektif dari meetingnya, atau orangnya itu lagi bad mood, akan aja selalu dia tuh kayak point out your mistake. Ini kayak gini, kayak tuh kayak gak benar. And if that is something that is potentially affects your confidence kan. Aduh, kalau ini kenapa sih Bapak ini tiba-tiba nggak point out ini, gue jadi panik, tiba-tiba dapat panic attack. So the way presentasi or your in your communication ada yang salah, don't overly panic. Langsung aja stepnya admit that you make a mistake. Thank the observer bahwa udah pointing that out dan jelasin kenapa kayak gitu. Dan kalau misalnya nanti lu mau benerin, you can get back to orang yang habis itu. So you can actually control that occasion very well. Dan yang ketiga itu rehearse. So you have time for so this is a presentation or communication that you can prepare, right? You have time to prepare. Jadi bukan cuman ketika minta temen. For me, in every single communication that I want to do, ketika gue mau diskusi sama manajer gue, ketika gue mau ngomong ke orang lain untuk nyampain ide, I always prepare. Jadi kayak gue langsung aja, okay, what is the objective that I want to get out of this communication? What is the point that I want him to agree on, to align? Dan kayak tek, gue datang. Kadang to certain extent, I also prepare like how do I want to engage him first. Kayak nanya kabar. Mungkin nanya kabar udah terlalu bosen. Kayak people likes to have like personal connection. You can even plan kayak gitu. So even all of this thing takes less than 2 minutes. So you have time to prepare. So every single time you want to communicate with people, take 2 minutes, 1 minute, just jot down what you want to say, what is the objective they want to achieve. And that way your communication can be much more targeted dan lu lebih siap. And that builds the confidence inside you. Nah, so that was the part to deal with yourself. Number 2 is on the presentation itself, kan. Ada 3 komponen, content, delivery, dan juga logistik. Jadi on content, gue ngerasa in my presentation, every single thing that I put on the slides, I can be responsible about it. Ketika orang nanya apapun yang ada di slide gue harus bisa jawab tentang itu. And it's your content, it's your slide. You should be able to master it gitu. Jadi kalau bisa, sebelum presentasi, ya kamu make sure kamu bisa jawab semua pertanyaan yang ada tertera di slide-nya itu. So if people ask, you can actually answer it. That was on content. Number 2 itu delivery. So this one deal with like the way you design your slides, atau media apa yang kamu pengen pakai, presentasi, video, atau nggak perlu semuanya. So this deal with that. Nah yang ketiga ini logistik. Seringkali kadang kita nggak begitu fokus di yang nomor 3 karena kita ngerasa oke, konten udah oke, delivery-nya gue udah siapin, logistiknya. Mau dari level lu masih junior sampai senior banget sekalipun, ketika logistiknya itu nggak benar, it will spark a little bit of like trouble aja di presentasi lo. Can be as simple as kayak proyektornya nggak ada, atau connect speaker-nya nggak kedengeran. So all of these things, itu kalau nggak di-prepare, it will affect your confidence. Belum lagi kalau misalnya itu terjadi di awal meeting. Tadinya semua orang sibuk, terus kita punya waktu cuma 1 jam, hanya karena kita nggak prepare logistiknya dengan baik, mungkin 10 to 15 minutes wasted because of logistic. And it already destroys people mood untuk engage to your presentation.